Hi, YouTube. Hiya, hiya, hiya. This is different. This is different. For those of you all who do not know me, my name is Dr. JaNee Mobley, and this is my first time doing a YouTube live. So we're just gonna be honest and be real about it. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm usually on Facebook, but we're switching it up. We're switching it up. So what do? I teach God fearing, aspiring entrepreneurs to take their idea, make it, market it, and make money from it while knowing their worth. So, tonight we're going to talk about, oh, look at these eyebrows. So, y'all come on in. This is really different, but different in a good way. Different in a good way, right? Different in a good way. So, tonight we're going to talk, we're going to chat just a little bit. Y'all forgive me because I'm just going to be honest. Like, y'all gonna get to know I am who I am. And I don't proclaim to be perfect. So, probably what tonight is all about. So, hold on just a second. Let's see. Nope, don't want to do that. Post. This is exciting. Like, y'all forgive me. This is exciting. Forgive me. We're going to perfect it along the way. We're going to get it right, and it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So, let's see here. God, you're amazing. Okay. Okay. All right. So, hey y'all. Okay. Tonight we're gonna talk about, and this is like fitting for tonight because I literally just like a little backstory. I literally was since this is my first time going live on YouTube, I share shorts on YouTube, but not necessarily lives. So I was sitting here like trying to create a topic, and I was just thinking, I was like, the first thing that came to my spirit was and is that quit complicating it, implement, right? One of the things that I understand is that a confused mind does nothing. And as a believer, because a lot of the things that I share, you all will find a part of my personality, and not just my personality, but my belief is I'm a believer, right? And one thing I understand about God is that He's not the author of confusion, but of peace. And I just literally stated out of my mouth, I was like, you know what? We're not going to complicate this. We're going to simplify it. And what was happening is on YouTube, when you get ready to go live, they ask you to like upload a thumbnail because it catches people's eye when they come across your page to look at your lives. So I didn't know what I was doing. I said, let me just take the picture. At first, what I tried to do, at first, what I tried to do was use a current photo that I have of myself. And I emailed it to myself, and I'm sure it's a much more simpler way of getting this done. But my brain just wasn't braining at the time to figure out how to upload it. And I was just like, you know what? Once I figured out I could just take a picture of myself and upload it, I just uploaded it. And to be honest, it may not be the most perfect thing. But one thing that I understand is that a lot of times people don't implement, people don't do, all because they don't have everything perfectly lined up, because they don't see the vision at its fullest. They don't have all of the details. And what happens is that people stop. Sometimes people don't make a move. Sometimes people stay in idea mode, but they don't move into implementation mode, which what happens is if you don't move into implementation mode, you don't make any money. And one thing that I understand, and I did a live on Facebook last night, and I realized, I said, a lot of the times what happens is that people don't realize that we're not here to do just nothing. We are here to produce. We are here to bear fruit. And one of the reasons why Jesus cursed the fig tree is because the fig tree wasn't producing any fruit. The reason why he got so upset and so angry, and I believe it's the parable of the men who had talents, the one man who he gave the one talent and he did nothing with it. He got angry with it, all because again, he did not produce anything. All he did was just took it and bury it. So I want you to tonight, I want you to think about the idea that you know that God has put in your heart, that God has put in your spirit, that you know that you've been sitting here talking about. You've actually seen people go out and make money doing the very idea that you have, but you still sitting on it. You still haven't done anything with it, right? So I just want to talk to you all about this on tonight, okay? And I want to teach you really the basic of, hold on. Let's try something. Let's try something. All right. Let's see here. Let's see how this goes. Um, so I want to move you into what we're going to talk about is how you don't need to complicate things. You just need to implement. One of my personal experiences is I didn't have all of the pieces of, I'm trying to think about what project it was. Oh, I knew that God wanted me to write a book, but at the time I didn't know what the book was about. So what I did was is I went back to all of the things that I had like talked about a little bit before. And as I started doing, the ideas started coming. And then I was able to outline the book. But when you sit in idea mode and you don't get into implementation mode, then nothing happens. So tonight we're going to talk about you don't need to complicate it, you just need to implement. So the first thing is don't overthink it. By definition, let me get so by definition, to overthink means to think about something too much. Think about like the idea that you have that you've been sitting there overthinking for too long. Think about the idea that you've had that you've been sitting on and you've been trying to calculate every piece of it and it has literally gone nowhere. So, some synonyms for overthinking means to magnify, it means to overestimate, it means to overvalue, it means to make too much of. One of the things, and I love using this analogy, a lot of times people feel like everything has to be perfect, right? And we want things to be perfect. We don't want to, halfway do anything, but we want to make sure that we do something. Right. I'm sure you may have looked at people's brands and their ideas and you're like, man, I could have thought about that. And then realize when these people started making millions of dollars, you're like, shoot, I could have thought about that. Well, here's the thing. They didn't have all of the answers. They just made a move. And one thing that I understand about being a believer is that the Bible tells us that the just shall live by faith. And faith means that we don't have all of the answers, but we're going to make a move. Faith means that we may not know what the ultimate end result is going to be, but we're going to at least take the first step. So the first thing is don't overthink it. Quit overthinking the idea. Quit overthinking it. You're thinking about it too much, right? You're thinking about it too much. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna get better with this. So the other part of the overthinking definition is that you're thinking about it for too long. You're thinking about it for too long. And one of the things that I find is that sometimes people get in overthinking mode when they're in self-doubt mode. When you're sure of something, doubt means you're questioning. So are you questioning whether the idea will work, whether you'll succeed at it, whether you'll be better at it? So quit overthinking it, right? The second step is to think simple. I want you to think about the idea that you have and I want you to think about nothing but simplicity. This is how you get out of being complicated into implementation. One thing that I understand is that if you give people too many instructions, then they get overwhelmed. Figure out the simplest, and a lot of times it's the easiest thing that you can do. So, what is the simplest thing that you can do? Because what that will do is it'll increase your confidence. Even before that, it'll cause you to go into implementation mode. It'll cause you to make a move because it's a simple exercise to do. But if you're finding that you're overthinking it too much or it's too complicated, then you won't move in it. Now, if you know it's something that you need to do and it feels complicated, then reach out and to a resource and figure out what's the simplest way to do it. Number three is ask yourself, what is my first step? What is the first thing that I need to be doing in order to get me closest to my goal? And the funny thing is that many of us know what our first step is. Many of us know the first thing that we need to be doing. But the stories that you play in your head stop you from moving in that direction. So what is your first step? Your first step could be if you're writing a book, your first step is what is the title? And for me, if you were anything like me, I ain't have no audio, no book, no PDF, no nothing to teach me how to write my book. I just had to write it. I came up with a title and then I outlined it. And the more that I wrote, the more insight, the more wisdom, the more ideas that I had. The next thing and the last thing is very, very simple. You got to move on the idea. You got to move on it. You can't just sit and talk about it because all it's going to do is going to stay stagnant and it's going to just sit on the shelf. And then months from now, a year from now, you're going to be sitting there looking at yourself like, what if I would have done this? You're going to be in regret mode. And we don't have time for regret mode. The simplest thing is implement. One thing that I learned about Abraham in the Bible was Abraham got his next set of instructions after he completed his first set of instructions. But how are we going to get the next set of instructions, or how will the next door of resources open for us if we don't make the first move? You got to move. You got to get out of your own way. So again, we're going to go back over this. In order to move from complication to implementation, don't overthink it. Okay. So quit overthinking it. Think simple. What is the easiest thing that I can do right now to get me started? For me, and doing this YouTube live for that thumbnail, I just took a picture with my webcam. Now, was it the best photo ever? No. But you know what? It was all about me implementing. I'm gonna perfect it and refine it along the way. Because that's what car dealerships do. If you think about it, they put these vehicles out and a lot of them know, this is my belief. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. But they know stuff is wrong with the vehicle when they release it, right? But yet they release it. Yet they release the vehicle, put it on the market, and then a couple of months later, they then send the email and say, "Hey, you purchased this vehicle. You need to get there's a recall on this vehicle." Oh, excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna go to bed. For X, Y, and Z. Go to the dealership and get it taken care of. Now, mind you, they have since sold you the car. You purchased the car, okay? And they've already made their money. They've already made their money. You paid for it. They've been compensated for the vehicle that you purchased, and they've made money. Now, mind you, being in a vehicle, driving, that costs people money, right? That's risking people's lives. So it's time for you to take that idea and quit overthinking it. Make it very, very simple. So tonight I'm gonna wrap this up. Then tomorrow, this live is gonna be even better because I'm gonna figure out all of the stuff that I didn't know that I needed to figure out. I'm gonna figure out all of this stuff. So y'all bear with me, join me. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe. So when I go live, you get the notification, and I promise y'all tomorrow's gonna be even better. Look, let me tell y'all something about me as a sidebar. I'm I'm a goofball because I like to laugh. I'm real silly on my own personal time. And it just that's just me. So yeah, join me tomorrow and it's gonna be much better tomorrow than it was tonight. So y'all forgive me. Y'all have a great evening and I'll see y'all next time. And again, subscribe to my channel.